Autumn in America. Crisp air, falling leaves, and rising prices. The season of overpriced lattes has returned, and no one's feeling the pain quite like Starbucks customers. Pumpkin spice used to be a guilty pleasure. Now it's practically a luxury.
Don't you just love the fall? The crisp air, the falling leaves, the shockingly expensive seasonal drinks. Tastes like price gouging.
Yep, a grande now costs what a meal used to. $1 extra for matcha, 80 cents for a flavored syrup, $7 for a drink the size of your thumb. That's not coffee. That's corporate robbery in a cup.
You go and you pay $7 for a coffee and you sit down in a crowded area and then you have to wait like 45 minutes for it.
The wait was forever, no matter how you ordered.
Count your motherfucking days, Starbucks. This shit, I'm so sick of it.
And behind the counter, workers are boiling over too. Overworked, understaffed, and burned by the same corporate greed cooking their customers. A company once known for community, now collapsing under capitalism. So what happened to the most progressive brand in America? How did Starbucks, once a symbol of comfort, become a cautionary tale of corporate greed?
Starbucks was kind of the king of the world. It also had such a dominant place in the culture. You saw it in movies.
5 iced venti decaf percent lattes with a long straw.
And it was just this phenomenon in which everybody, I think especially young women felt like they needed to be at Starbucks because that was the cool thing to do.
Late 1990s to early 2000s, Starbucks wasn't just coffee. It was culture, movies, music, first dates, job interviews. It was the third place between home and work.
Starbucks experienced explosive growth during the early 2000s, expanding from 3,500 stores in 2000 to 15,000 locations by 2007.
Then the financial crisis hit in 2008, and I think that's when things really started to change.
The recession exposed the truth. Starbucks cared less about baristas and more about billionaires. After 2008, profits became God, and like every modern religion, it demanded sacrifice from workers. Instead of rebuilding trust, Starbucks went global and automated. By 2016, 40% of stores had drive-thrus. By 2021, they said the future was pickup only.
The idea of the third place was dead.
And when customers lingered too long, Starbucks called the cops. The message was clear. Drink up, pay up, get out.
This is a venti, okay? This is the only drink up to this line, maybe like right here with ices. This is the only drink in the whole entire thing. More than half is foam. Tastes like shit.
Starbucks didn't just shrink your coffee. They shrank their soul. And the people making those drinks, they were collapsing under corporate pressure.
Maybe there's 1 or 2 baristas in the entire store who are cranking out, hundreds of orders every morning. I think they see that their stores are maybe a little less well maintained.
When workers started unionizing, Starbucks responded not with dialogue, but with war.
So workers began to unionize store by store. In response, Starbucks started a CEO carousel, declared war on the union, and began a multi-year crash out.
Instead of fixing their broken system, they fired union organizers, spied on meetings, and called it policy enforcement. You know what we call that? Union busting with foam on top.
And negotiation sessions were superficial at best.
What we've seen from the Starbucks representatives who have come to the table is indignant rage at the mere suggestion that somebody else would have any say in how even the most minor thing is done at the company.
Starbucks delayed, dodged, and derailed, but the workers didn't back down. They went on strike.
Good morning! You're striking!
Starbucks couldn't silence the sound of solidarity. By early 2024, workers had pushed for new negotiations, with real wins on job security and accountability.
We have a lot of amazing tentative agreements, a lot more job security, democratic ways of participating and actually having a say in the operations, ways of enforcing the contract, holding the company accountable to it.
But just as progress brewed, profits tanked. Starbucks stock fell 15%. Sales dropped 10%. Customers were boycotting, not just over prices, but over politics.
I will almost inevitably see a comment that says, "Bestie, we don't go to Starbucks anymore. They're union busters." Or, "Bestie, we don't go to Starbucks. They support the genocide in Gaza."
The backlash was viral, and Starbucks' response? Hire yet another CEO, the fourth in 4 years, and hand him a $96 million check.
I still love burritos, but now I really love espresso.
That's Brian Niccol, former Taco Bell and Chipotle executive, now promising to restore the soul of Starbucks. But his fix? Raising prices again. Since 2020, the average grande coffee price jumped 49%. Niccol added sneaky surcharges, 80 cents for flavors, 30 for oat milk, and new fees buried in the app.
Last time that I went to Starbucks was June 16th, and I paid $5.14 for my drink. Today, for the exact same drink, I paid $6.77. What the fuck?
They even restricted loyalty rewards, forcing customers to spend more just to earn points. And the community perks? Gone.
Since Brian, they've stopped offering free water and bathroom access, which Starbucks was known to be pillars of their communities for that reason.
My district manager said that it was being too soft and that it was like our emotional side getting the better of us for letting a mother of a small child use our bathroom without purchasing a cake pop or a bottle of water.
When a coffee company loses its humanity, it's not a cafe anymore. It's a cash machine with whipped cream on top. Starbucks opened 500 new stores last year but cut 8% of staff. Workers are drowning in orders, some covering entire shifts alone.
If you're staffing in such a way that a single call out is enough to throw an entire shift into disarray and make it a nightmare for the rest of the workers without doing anything to alleviate that or adjust your expectations as a company.
Niccol's solution? A new role called Green Apron Shift Leader. Translation: someone with an iPad shouting orders while others melt under pressure.
You can't do smiley faces, you have to write full sentences at peak.
Imagine paying $7 for a latte, while your barista's forced to write you a mini essay on the cup. That's not customer service. That's humiliation theater. New dress codes, new scripts, no communication. And when the union asked for input, Starbucks ghosted them.
And instead of negotiating, Starbucks just unilaterally decided to shut down over 400 stores, including 59 union shops that were said to be underperforming.
That's not coincidence. That's retaliation. And under Niccol, the hostility only deepened.
The reason they're not doing business is because they've changed it so that stores have to be open till 9 p.m. even when they only are really that busy during peak or lunch rushes, and suddenly they're open for 9 hours that are entirely unprofitable.
But workers didn't back down. They organized harder.
We'll be back! We'll be back!
By 2025, over 50 practice pickets swept across America. From Philadelphia to Seattle, baristas stood shoulder to shoulder, not for tips, but for dignity.
It's been a year since Brian Niccol has joined Starbucks, and frankly, nothing has changed for the better.
These people don't live in the real world like we do. These people are out of touch. But I got good news. There's a lot more of us than there are of them.
That's the truth brewing inside every Starbucks. The people who make the coffee are the ones who can save the company, not the ones cashing million-dollar bonuses.
I really think our union is a godsend to this company that is has been in crisis, is losing customers. And here we have this incredibly motivated group of 12,000 plus workers who are saying we know exactly what it's going to take to make this company work, to improve the experience for the workers, to improve the experience for customers, which ultimately should make the shareholders happy.
So next time you sip your $7 latte, remember, the real cost isn't in the cup. It's in the people crushed to make it. This is Breaking Truth Network, where we expose the grind behind the grind.